So I probably had anxiety my whole life, and it manifested as like stomach pain, anger was a big one for me, always trying to fix myself. I chalked it up because I'm overweight. So I chalked it up to that. And I chalked it up to being out of control in my eating. So I thought if I can just control it with dieting, if I could just be perfect, if I can just fix everything, and I'd be better. I just really thought that that would be the case. So, but in 2018, after a series, like I had a death in the family, I had adopted a child, all different things. And I had no control over any of that. Like I had no control over my child and how she was going to, behave or grow up. And I had no control over losing my family member. And I just felt like, wow, all this stuff I built up was like falling down and falling apart. So I was at like my breaking point really with anxiety, and I didn't want to live anymore. And I always say that this like breaks my heart, but I remember laying on my bed and I remember calling my husband at work and I'm like, please help me. And I was crying and I was praying and he couldn't come home. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What the heck am I going to do? And I knew I didn't want to die, but I also knew I didn't want to live like this anymore. So I had Googled, and somehow you came up. And I didn't have the, I didn't financially, like I was like, oh, like I'm going to have to take some money out of my savings account, and I'm not going to tell my husband. And I didn't tell him. And I took the course and I started, in about 2 weeks in, he said to me, what are you doing? And he's like, 'cause you're different. And I told him, and yeah, so from there, so I have no idea what, like I say I have no idea what Amy was saying, but I have no idea what you were saying really, Amy, in the beginning.
I know.
Because I was so caught up. I was just so caught up, and I was so used to, reading the nonfiction books and always trying to fix myself and always trying to make changes, that I just really, it was very wooey to me. But I felt something and it just kept me coming back and kept me coming back. And I think one time I was taking notes and I had said to you, oh, I have something about notes. And you're like, no notes. You don't need to take notes. And I was just so used to being a chronic student too, like learning all I can. And I thought if I took notes, then it would just get in my head better. And once I like stopped doing that, I started getting insights after insights. And so for me, the funny things that fell away for me were like not only the anxiety, so I don't have panic attacks anymore. And if I do have anxiety, which I found out is normal, it's no big deal. It's really like, it's like, okay, yeah, you're just having a little anxiety. Like what's going on right now? And I just check myself. But the things that fell away too were like the tolerance for gossip. I remember writing this to you, and we had talked about it. I was on your podcast, which was awesome, but we had talked about that too, like the tolerance for gossip. And right now, like even with this climate and stuff like that, I block people, I ignore people. Like it doesn't bother me, and people could say whatever they want. And I'm like, okay, that's great, whatever. But before I'd be like, do you believe this? It's no big deal. It's just really no big deal. Another thing I had too was I didn't realize I was so worried about throwing up all the time. Like if somebody would just say like, I'm sick, I would actually ask them how they're sick. Like, do they have a cold? Okay, no big deal. But did you vomit? Like, and I would think, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to be sick. So that was like a constant fear for me. And that just like fell away. Like one day I was just like, oh, okay. Like you don't think that anymore. So that was a big deal for me too. So
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it just
so
like,
great.
yeah.
I love how you say about, that you're not sure. And I just think this is good for everyone to hear. Like you didn't really know what I was saying. Melina said that, others have said that, right? Like I didn't really know, because we're so used to, like you said, taking notes, being able to explain to someone or to ourselves even, here's what I'm learning, here's how it works. And we can't always do that with this, but that your husband asked you 2 weeks in, what are you doing? Because you're different. that's what matters, that we keep, like many of you have said, like, I didn't really know, but I kept coming back and listening more, I mean, and there is a bit of a paradigm shift in that for people, because we are used to what are the steps and all of this stuff. But yes, to see that this seeps in at a level beyond what we can even explain sometimes. And look what happens. Things like little phobias that you kind of were only partly aware of start to fall away, and so much changes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And, I'm still working, I'm still working on weight loss and stuff, but binge eating is totally gone. The emotional eating is gone.
Yeah.
But those things have fallen away recently. Like it was not a quick, it didn't happen all quick. Like some things did.
Yeah.
But what I found too is the perfectionism, and no longer having to be perfect, and no longer having to present in a way that I wasn't,
Yeah.
and trying to fix what wasn't ever broken. And I think that too, and not being afraid of having a feeling or a thought. That's so big. So yeah, my life is completely different. It's the same. I'm the same person, but like it's just so different. So I love it.